How many of y'all have a smartphone currently either in your hand or in your pocket? Most of us are going to answer yes. We all have phones, most of us smartphones. So you either are going to be an Android user or an Apple user. If you're an Android user, the phone to have is the Galaxy S7. And if you're an Apple user, the phone to have really is the iPhone 6s. So many people wonder if the grass truly is greener on the other side, and today, for the Apple users at least, I'm going to explain why it is greener if you just switch to a Samsung. So using information from the manufacturer's websites, Samsung.com and Apple.com, as well as two technology testers' reviews, we're going to look at why it truly is better through the build, functionality, storage, and pricing of the phone. So the two technology reviewers that I'm going to be talking about are going to be Matt Swider in his Galaxy S7 versus iPhone 6s review, and then also from Max Parker's review, Galaxy S7 versus iPhone 6s, which one is best. So let's start right into the build. The Samsung has a 7.9mm thick build, where the iPhone only has a 7.1mm thick build. So a lot of people say, yeah, well, it's thinner, that's better for me, and it is in some ways, but when it hits the floor or the street, that 0.8mm actually probably help you a whole lot. Also, Samsung got an IP68 certification on the S7, which really means it's waterproof up to a certain extent. So, as Matt Swider put it, it can survive the accidental aquatic encounters unscathed. So it is 9 grams lighter. They switched with iPhone to build with an aluminum frame, which is a lighter metal, also less durable than the metal alloy that the that the Samsung 7 is built with. So saved them 9 grams, but not as durable, so you need to watch that. For the camera, both have a 12 megapixel camera. Samsung coming in better with the 1.4 microns compared to the 1.22 microns that the iPhone camera has. Samsung actually boasts on its website it is the first smartphone with dual pixel technology in the Galaxy 7s. As far as the screen size, Samsung has a 5.1 inch screen, where the iPhone only has a 4.7 inch screen. In Matt Swider's review, he actually put it pretty funny that the Samsung has double the pixels of a 1080p HD TV, where the iPhone 6s has just a few more pixels than an old 720p HD TV. So now that we looked at the way the build is actually a whole lot better, let's look at the way the functionality is better. So just in RAM processing, Samsung comes with a 4GB RAM, where the iPhone only comes with a 2GB RAM. Matt Swider also put it pretty nicely in his, it's the fastest technology on the planet, technically, as far as the smartphone goes. It does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor in it, which is what makes it the fastest on the planet. It's also got a much larger battery. It has a 3000 milliamp hour battery in the Samsung S7 compared to the 1715 milliamp hour battery in the iPhone. So just to tell you what it actually does to it, in a review that Matt Swider did, he ran a 90-minute HD video on both phones, and the Apple lost 32% of its battery, which is double what the Samsung lost, being 16%. So the functionality is better across the board with the processors, the RAM size, the actual phone in general. It's just a lot better, the battery life. So now that we looked at the ways that it's better in functionality, let's take a look at storage and price. So The Samsung only comes in one size. It's 32 gigabyte. And while that's not large, it's not small. The iPhone comes in 16, 64, and 128 gigabyte options. So it does have bigger options right off the bat, but it has no option to expand from there. Where the Samsung S7 has optional SD card, so it can add up to 200 gigabytes at a time. And when you think about it, once you fill up one of those cards, all you do is pop it out, put a new one in, you get another 200 gigabytes, so that's pretty cool. You can't put any SD cards in the Apples. They are whatever you buy, 16, 64, or 128 gigabytes, that's all you get. As far as price point, Samsung comes in at $569 in euros, whereas the Apple, the 16 is cheaper than the Samsung. The 128 gigabyte is ridiculously more expensive, but comparably the 64 gigabyte is only 619 euro, still coming in at $50 or 50 euros more than the Samsung. So, those are some ways that the Samsung S7 is uncomparably better than the iPhone 6s as far as build functionality, price, and storage. If you are somebody that's on the fence about coming over to the dark side, so to speak, with the Android, I do offer you to give it a try with the S7. You might just find that the grass truly is greener on the other side through the points we just discussed. Thank you and have a wonderful day.